Good morning. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Happy Thursday. Happy Thursday. Happy non-refundable Thursday. Good morning, Kelly. How are you doing this morning? So, yes, I am live on this non-refundable day in my sweats. I've just done a HIIT session on my lounge floor, and yet again, the glasses are steaming up and I'm all hot and bothered because I got stuck into a bit of work, lost track of time. I was awake at 5 o'clock, and yeah, I come here all sweaty. No refunds today, says Kelly. No, there is not any refunds today. There really isn't. So how are we going to do today? How are we going to do this non-refundable day? I hope that you've woken up and checked in on yourself. Where are you mentally, emotionally, physically, and even spiritually? And what do you need? Like, what do you need? Like, maybe you're tired. Like, I'm not tired. A couple of days ago, I was tired and I needed to rest. So I went to bed early that night. But if we check in on ourselves, what's your stress levels like, your energy, your tiredness, your emotional capacity? Like, this just gives us an awareness, because sometimes we just jump into our day and we've got no awareness about why we might struggle today and why we might have less energy, why we might be more irritable or less patient. And because we just haven't bothered to check with ourselves, and we'll just go, oh, I don't know what's wrong with me. Check in with yourself. Do that work of yourself. That's the greatest work of all. So check in on yourself every day. This morning I got up, and what I wrote in my bed this morning, I just had some words. I'm back writing my book again, and I'm writing some words to go with the poems. And I just started writing straight away, and it was just about being awake. That's literally where the words came from. But then it started in, a bit of gratitude, and I started writing about what was on my mind. And that's so good for you, to get the things that are on your mind out of your head, to create space for creativity and other things. So, yeah, always remember that, because, I had a male client, and I know a lot of males like this, sadly, and I feel for them, I really do. But they don't grew up in a family where there wasn't a lot of sharing of emotions, and a place where you're told to, stop crying, what are you crying for, and all of that sort of stuff, and a real kind of hard background, not cruel, but just, quite hard and strict. And they just did not have any clue how to check in on themselves, how to really take care of themselves, what self-care is. And we had a lot of work to do. And it's really this, empathy and kindness to yourself first and foremost, and to other people, is not weak. These things are not weakness. Having emotions, we're supposed to have emotions. We're supposed to feel. If you have a heart, you are going to feel. If that heart is beating, you are going to feel things, whether you're male, female, non-binary, or whatever. You are going to feel shit. And you need to find a way to lean into that and to understand that, even if it's just like having an awareness and having an honest conversation with yourself about how you're feeling. Like, I had some stuff yesterday, and I was just like, I just lent into it. I haven't resolved it really with myself, but I was like, okay, I'm going to be honest with myself about that. I don't know where it comes from. I don't know how to manage it right now, but I'm being honest with how I'm feeling. And that is, like I always say, awareness is half the battle, probably even more. Like, once you put some awareness on it, you will definitely change your language, your behaviors, and your thinking around it to a certain degree. And then you can also go a little bit deeper with that awareness and become more curious about, well, why am I feeling this way? What is that about? And then you can start digging a bit deeper and a bit deeper and a bit deeper. And therapy definitely helped me do that. And also digging into my deeper resources comes from breath work. And I've had a client this week who had a session about a month ago, an in-person session, and we'd messaged a little bit, because I was checking on my clients, and they said that when we finally met up this week, they said that they'd had, like, it straight away after the session, they said they felt lighter, And it's been a month since we've seen each other, and they said that they have been able to, they feel happier, they feel lighter, less stressed, less emotional. This is someone's had a lot of trauma in their life, which is, you know, we've all got trauma, right? Different, you know, we've all got our different levels. Different things give us our darkness, if you know what I mean, our darkest times. Like what has given me my darkest times might not have been you might not have reacted to, right? So it's everyone's trauma is different, and everyone's darkest moments are different. But for this person, their trauma anyway has troubled them, and that one breathwork session carried them through a whole month. Like breathwork just blows my mind. Yeah, I'm just so incredibly happy. But they've taken the brave decision to go, do you know what? All of this stuff that I'm feeling, I'm carrying with me every day, that anxiety, I'm going to do something about it. And so they're having coaching, and breath work. So we have a breath work session and we have coaching wrapped in a little bundle called Life and Breath. And it's freaking phenomenal. Like, it just blows my freaking mind. It really, really does. Good morning, Sandra. Happy Thursday. So yeah, I was just talking about us tapping into our emotions and into our deeper resources, because the thing that I love about breath work is you don't have to talk. And especially for guys who don't really want to talk that much, breath work is a game changer. You can just rock up here or to an online class and be in the comfort of your own home and just tackle your shit without really knowing. You don't have to understand your shit or what's going on. You just let your breath do the work. And the thing is, the breath, where you can shift your state of consciousness, it can get to your deeper levels of resources that you can't get to consciously. And you don't have to think about it. You just have to be guided by the breath. It's so amazing, like freaking amazing. And so many people, like, maybe I've been guilty of this. We're all guilty, right? We keep hoping things will change. And that's why I called today's session live, hope is not a strategy, right? And actually, when I was on the Happy Place podcast, Fern asked me, how do you have hope? And really, hope is not a strategy. And that's probably what I should have said. But in the moment, I mean, I said a lot of things that are not on that podcast. But yeah. But we have, we have to have hope, right? Of course, hope is a great thing. I hope things will change. But we have to have a strategy outside of the hope. And I've spoken to so many people. I speak to them for years on end before they come and coach with me. Some people rock up and they're like, right, I'm in. Some people hang around for a month to a year or whatever. I've had some people like connected with me for 4 years before they have any coaching. And all that time, I had it with a client who was a performer, actually, and their strategy was hope. I'm just hoping things will get better. And I kept saying, what are you doing differently? And it was, well, I'm busy, and I hope, I keep having these conversations, and I'm really just hoping that something changes. Hope is not a freaking strategy. It's not going to fix shit. Like, it really isn't. Have some hope, of course, because as my friend Gail says, you always have to leave a margin for magic. And I believe that, like manifestation and law of attraction, maybe it's a bit woo, but I believe in those things. But you have to take some action in order for them to work, right? Law of attraction doesn't work without any action, right? It doesn't. And you cannot manifest shit from a place of anxiety. These are the important things to remember if you're thinking about manifestation and law of attraction, right? Your thoughts, your feelings, and your actions have to be aligned to manifest anything. I massively believe in having it on your board. Like I had wanting to be on the Happy Place Festival stage talking on my board, and I made it happen. I believe that I did make it happen. That did not just come in a letter and an invite and Fern picking up the phone. There were certain things that I had to do. I had to take some action. And we do have to take some action on whatever it is that we're dealing with, whether that's an emotional thing, a mental thing, a physical thing, a spiritual thing, a work thing. You're going to have to do some shit. And I forget who said it, that the definition of doing the same thing over and over is insanity. Who said that? Does anybody know? Can you let me know who said that? Some famous wise philosopher. And it is, right? If you just keep hoping, like I've been in relationships where I just keep hoping it's going to change, that, hoping that the other person is going to change. Well, I obviously learned that you have to take that responsibility for yourself, and you can't go blaming and complaining about the other person. You know, the best relationships, I was talking to someone about this yesterday, really are the relationships where two people are willing to grow together and who learn to fight well together. I don't mean we're having a good boxing fight. I mean, like, when we're going to have disagreements, that we're going to learn to navigate those well together, rather than being mean to each other, shouting at each other, storming off, and refusing to speak to your partner for days on end, emotionally shutting out your partner. I get it. Sometimes we've got to pull the pin and we've got to take some pressure off for a little bit, but not days and not weeks. You've got to learn to fight well together. Gone off. This relationship stuff comes up in so much of my work that it always leaks into these conversations. And in my Breaking Your Own Limits program, we do a whole month on relationships, and it really isn't long enough. Like, I should probably just do Breaking Your Own Limits in relationships or something, do a whole program for 4 months around that, because it's so huge and it's so important and integral to us survival as a human being. Our survival depends on other people, on connection with other people, and relationships is just that. And we need to support that. We need to find ways to work on that and make those work. So you have to remember that failure is a part of life, whatever. It just is. You've got to remember that, and you've got to accept that. And it's hard. Like, it's hard when a relationship fails. It's hard when, work things fail and things don't come off. But you have to believe that there is something better to come around the corner. This is why I talk about pronoia. And I learned that word from Glenn Morshower. If you want to know where I learned that word from, he is an actor. I think he's in 24, although I've never seen it. He's an awesome guy. And I learned that word from him. And pronoia is, for me anyway, like, I think the definition is like believing that the world is conspiring to do you good. Well, I believe it as in a way that, like, when something shit happens, I believe that something better is coming. Like, and there's a story about, I think it's Bob Proctor, who wrote a book. It was a 40,000 word manuscript. Back in his day, there was no laptops and computers to put all these words. He literally wrote all this out. I think he might have typed it. And he was taking it to the publishers with his wife in the taxi. They got out of the taxi, got into the office of the publisher, no manuscript. And his wife had left it on the seat in the cab. Try as they might, they did not and could not find that manuscript. But did Bob get angry with his wife? No. Do you know what he said when they couldn't find it? And he wasn't cross at the time. He said, "It just means I'm meant to write something better." That is the finest example of fucking pronoia, right? That is the finest example of pronoia. I would love for you to get behind pronoia. It's going to be my TED Talk one day. And give me an example of pronoia. How can you flip something today? Instead of having hope as your strategy, have some action and what you can do. How can you change your thinking, your behavior, and your thoughts around it? Hi, Nick. How you doing? Yeah, long time, eh? It's good to see you here. I'm live on Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn this morning, and this session will go out onto my It Starts With You podcast as well. So go check that out, because there's loads of episodes from the last few weeks on there. And I'm just putting them all in there, as well as you might want to listen while you're in your car on the way to work or wherever you're going. They're only like 20 minutes long. Maybe you'll get one nugget of inspiration or wisdom to take into your day. If you have any questions or any thoughts around life, breath, then drop me a message. I was talking about pronoia, really, and just, how can you flip something around? Like, that is incredibly hard. And, when my relationship broke down, and we've all had relationships break down, right? It was devastating to me, but it came at a time when my father was dying, and a few months later, my dog died, my precious little dog, who died too soon, as far as I'm concerned. He was only 9. And so I had a lot, and I really, really struggled. So I struggled at that time to see the pronoia in it. But Les Brown, who some of you might know, he did say to me that this mess will be your message, and that I will be able to use this to be a better person and a better coach. And he was absolutely right. I am a better person. I am a better coach. I've massively leveled up. So I wish that I was more engaged with pronoia back then. but it doesn't matter. I got what I needed to get there, and I got all the lessons, and I'm still learning from that time in my life, and the lessons I learned from that. And this is for you too. Like, there is lessons in everything. There really is, and having a bit of pronoia in your life is massively going to help you. Hope cannot be the only strategy. How can you flip things around? How can you take some action, even the tiniest little bit of action? Right now, I have a whole bunch of things that I'm trying to manifest whilst being in the moment, right? We've got to have these things that we look ahead to. I don't look too far ahead, decades ahead, especially now since having Timmy. I'm really thinking a much shorter time frame, just really about the next year, what I want to achieve in the next year, and manifesting those things. And you have to take action on those things, right? I hope they come true. I want to manifest and have the law of attraction, but you've got to do some thinking. You've got to believe that it can happen for you whilst doing the work. You can't believe it's going to happen for you and do no fucking work. That will definitely not work. Trust me. You have to believe it, but you also have to do the work and the little bits of action. That doesn't mean slogging yourself 14 hours a day, because all of that pressure, you don't do quality work. You're not that productive. Slowing down definitely helps you speed up. Taking a break will definitely help you speed up eventually. You need to shut down the brain sometimes. We don't get enough sleep. We don't get enough rest, and the brain needs it, just like water. It needs to settle when it's all murky to become clear again. So we need to take these breaks and just think about doing tiny little actions every day. Because those little things all add up. I kind of think I said some of this yesterday, really. You've got to replace what you're saying, Kelly. Inspired action is definitely the key rather than bulk busy action. Yeah, I used to do a lot of bulk busy action. I like that. And it never got me anywhere. So, inspired action. And the other thing is like having lots of focuses. Like, I am a bit of a scattergun. I am a bit random, but I have these things going on in the peripheral, but at the core, what are the 3 core things that you're focused on in your life? Maybe it's your relationship. Maybe it's getting that promotion at work. Maybe it's, getting a little bit fitter. I don't know what they are. For me, the 3 core focuses are all about work, really. My personal stuff is all really good, and I feel very happy and comfortable with me. And I have 3 core focuses. There could be 10 other things around my work and my business that I want to do, but it's too scattergun. So it's having that intentional action on 3 core things. They're the kind of like the highlights. If you've ever done the bullet journaling, and I bullet journal every day. So yeah, what are your core things? The strategy of hope will not just work for those alone, is what I'm trying to say. And for all things in your life, hope in your relationship will get better. Hope in your work will get better. You have to do something about it. And remember, the definition of insanity is doing the same things over and over and expecting something to be different, because it freaking well won't be. Although every now and again you get a sprinkling of magic, and you've got to leave that margin for magic. Okay. I'm going to leave it there. I am sweating. I need to get in the shower. I wish you a very happy day. Remember, it starts with you. It starts with you. That doesn't mean you go on this journey alone. It doesn't mean you're out there all on your own. It just means you're the catalyst for all of this. Take some responsibility. Whether you're having a fight with your partner, a fight with your boss, something's not going right, take responsibility for your part, your role. It really puts you in the driving seat. How you can control your emotions, your thinking. You can change your thinking patterns. And you are the one that can take some tiny actions or big actions. Is up to you. But it starts with you. You are the core, the essence of everything that's going on around you. How you see the world, how you are in the world, how you show up. It is all you. So remember that. It's a good thing. I promise you that when I took responsibility, honestly, it was a game changer for me. I realized, and now I trust myself. Like, do you trust yourself? Do you have confidence in yourself, belief in yourself? Do you like being you? Like, it took me so long to get to that place. I don't want that for you. And I promise you, taking responsibility will massively, massively help and support you with your life, with freeing yourself up. So yeah, It's a non-refundable day as well. Don't forget that one. You can't refund this one. You can't go around again. So what are you going to do? How intentional are you going to be with yourself today, with your actions, with what you're doing, right? It's, when we're intentional, it's, you're focused on what you're doing. You know what you want to get out of it. Sometimes the universe is going to deliver something different, and it's you learning to be okay with that. And then also, I'll leave you with this today, the pronoia. Pronoia. The world is conspiring for your good, or the universe, or whatever you believe in. I believe in the universe because it exists. There's energy. Things are moving, right? I sat on my sofa last night and I changed the channel on a TV, and I just sat there for a minute. I'm thinking, I can't see anything happening, but yet it's changing the channel on my TV. That is fucking energy. Like, that is all around us. It's bonkers when you think about it. So have yourself a great day. If you're interested in joining my Breaking Your Own Limits coaching program, it's been highly successful, and I don't really brag about much, but when it's true, apparently it's not bragging, and it is true. And I only take 8 people on this program. I'm pretty sure all 8 members who've just done it would tell you that it's amazing. If you go on the webpage, sam-adams.com/feeling alive, feel alive. Feel alive, yeah, FEELALIVE. You will see some video testimonials from the women that have been on the program. That starts in September. So yeah, go check out and have a read of that. If you've got any questions, let me know. And if you've got any questions or anything you want me to talk about, then please drop me a line. I'm going to be looking for some guests for the podcast, some stories especially around, it starts with you, us taking responsibility. And hopefully soon I'm going to have Claude Silver on my podcast. She is Gary Vaynerchuk's right-hand woman. And I've met Claude. She's amazing human, so empathetic, so kind, so generous, like one of the biggest hearts I know of. And she's going to be coming on my podcast, which I'm really excited about. Anyway, have yourself a great day, and I will see you. I won't be back tomorrow because maybe I will be. We'll see how I feel, but I can't hold myself to that because I do try and take Fridays off. Try is not a great word, is it, though? Have yourself a great day.